Hello everyone, this is Karen Grace Clark. I'm the Program Manager of Gold Perinatal Care Online Conference. I'm here today with Rebecca Dekker, who's talking about Friedman's curve and the failure to progress, which is one of the presentations at our online conference later on in November. Rebecca, can you tell me, how did you become interested in evidence-based birth?
So I founded evidence-based birth in 2012, a few months after the birth of my second child. My first child was born in a hospital, and I really experienced care that was not based on evidence. And despite being a nurse, I was kind of surprised by the lack of evidence-based care that I received. So after my first child was born, I started really digging into the research and finding out what is evidence-based care for women during labor and birth. And after the birth of my second child, in which I did receive evidence-based care, I decided maybe I should share some of what I found with people online, because I found that there really wasn't a good resource for women to go to find out, the evidence straight from the medical journals, but written in a language that they can understand online.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. We find that that personal connection is really often what drives healthcare professionals to study, a particular topic. And we're really excited to have you sharing this from your perspective and, of course, from that evidence that you've studied. Can you tell us what you've discovered as you have studied Friedman's curve?
Yes, well, my audience, my readers of my website and my Facebook page really wanted me to write an article about Friedman's curve and failure to progress. But in order to do so, I actually had to check out the original journals from the 1950s in which all of Dr. Friedman's studies were published. And it was fascinating to get these journals. They came from the archives. They had to dig them out for me, and it was just fascinating to read these personal accounts of physicians who worked in obstetrics in the 1950s. And I discovered, that Friedman's curve, was studied more than 60 years ago, and it really has become totally obsolete. And yet, obstetrics all around the world, maternity care is based on this study. Even though the women in Friedman's curve, the vast majority of them were sedated under twilight sleep. They were younger, they weighed less, they were completely different than women that give birth today. And that's probably the most surprising thing to me, that Friedman's curve still serves as the basis of most modern maternity care, even though it's totally irrelevant and obsolete.
Wow, that's really fascinating, Rebecca, that you're saying that you've discovered that this Friedman's curve is being used to monitor women in that birth process, and the information that's being used there is actually obsolete. I think it sounds like we have a lot to learn. But why is this important? Why is failure to progress important for healthcare providers to learn about?
Well, failure to progress is a very subjective diagnosis that is, can be different from physician to physician or midwife to midwife, and it's actually the #1 cause of cesareans in women who are giving birth, and it's a driving cause behind the increase in the primary C-section rate in the U.S. and in other countries. So it's really important that we understand the evidence behind failure to progress and learn what the new evidence-based definitions are that care providers are using, because this could have a huge impact on decreasing the cesarean rate and improving health outcomes in women and babies.
Excellent. Thank you for taking the time to share that with us. Like I said earlier, I think it sounds like we all as healthcare professionals have a lot to learn here, and we definitely need to be using evidence-based information and current information about women and who they are today, and how they should be birthing and progressing through that. So thank you, Rebecca, for just taking a few moments to explain a little bit about who you are and about what this presentation is all about. I appreciate you taking that time.
Thank you.
And to all of our listeners, I would encourage you to head over to our website at www.goldperinatal.com and take a look over there, and please feel free to register, maybe listen to some of the other interviews by some of our other speakers, and if you are registered for our conference, then please log in and listen to Rebecca's presentation, Friedman's Curve and Failure to Progress, while